It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Brooklyn Cafe studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat at the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, or a movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in free 888-994-4995 right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
No applause?
No applause, I guess.
Applause?
What happened?
Thank you. And that
would be video on the board.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. The end of September is upon us. The year is ending, thank goodness, because, man, we got to get out of 2020 and start all over.
I would not be so quick to end 2020. Because what if 2021 isn't any better? And then you look back and say, I wish it was still 2020. The grass is not always greener on the other side, my friend.
As I said, 2020 is almost over, thank goodness.
Yeah, I know what you said, but just saying.
I want to wish all of you, first of all, let me thank you for sharing out the show. The numbers have been increasing again.
We were just talking about that, actually.
It's funny because our television program on Roku and Amazon took a dip. Do you know that we were getting over 260,000 households right before the pandemic and growing? And then it took a bullet. But we're going to bring it back. We're going to start all over. We're going to have fun and games. For those of you who did not hear the morning show, this Friday's morning show is going to be very unique. I have a game here that Dawn brought about 6 years ago, and she never took it out. So I started reading it, the cards in there. You could play along. We're going to give out some gifts and everything else. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to do a skit. Wait till you hear what's coming.
Uh-oh.
We're going to do it in airline. Remember we were up at the other studio, and I wanted to do an airline skit. We had the stewardesses. Well, somebody here does a little something in the airline business, not currently, but in the past.
You do that too?
No. Yeah, she writes about destinations. I just thought of it, destination.
Yes, we were going to do that.
So Vinny's going to be the pilot. Captain Crunch.
He says, ooh, Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch. It's going to be like Captain Crunch coming out of every pocket.
I like that.
So we're going to be looking for that, and we'll have some fun with that as well.
Awesome. Happy Tuesday to you.
Happy Tuesday.
It's nice to be back. I feel like I haven't been here in so long. It was only a day. It's the weirdest thing. One day, and we're back rolling and going.
This is what happens when you are, the upper echelons and you take vacation, you get time off.
No, it was Yom Kippur is considered the holiest day of the year for the Jewish faith. So
I called the Pope yesterday.
So that was the one day a year that I actually take off. So that was yesterday. But we're back in full force today. We've got a great guest. We've got Jacqueline Coleman joining us. I think Crazy Uncle Mike Goodwin is joining us. And then Flynn's Arcade will be coming in virtually on our 1 o'clock hour. And it is also National Coffee Day.
I'm sorry. What do you call him?
Mike Goodwin.
Is that his name?
Uh-huh.
Crazy Uncle Mike has a name?
Yes.
I thought it was Crazy Uncle Mike. Mike Goodwin?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yes. And everyone knows Mike. Everyone knows Mike.
I know him as Crazy Mike. He's
Crazy Uncle Mike.
I didn't know that.
Mike Goodwin is his name.
He has a real. I thought his name on his birth certificate was Crazy Mike.
Nope. So he's coming in a little bit, and they made me lose my train of thought. Today is National Coffee Day. We've got a coffee taste test going on. You got your coffee there? Well, we know what our coffee tastes like, but we do not know what some of the other coffees taste like. And we're going old school, black coffee. This way, no mixes. You guys got to see which is the smoothest.
Whoa, I didn't sign up for that.
I did. Because how can you test coffee as you call it, coffee, if you mask it with sugar and milk? You have to do the authentic
I like booze,
coffee.
but I don't drink that straight up either.
Yeah, you do.
Well, you're not supposed to say that. I sort of put a little juice, a little lemon, a little lime.
Straight up as it goes. So Teddy's getting that ready for National Coffee Day.
So we're supposed to determine what flavor the coffee, like we did with the cookies?
I think there's six different locations that 5 different locations that the coffee came from. So you're going to
I
get,
guess it's a B número uno.
that's your own. I don't know what that is.
No, it's not my own.
That's this one here.
That's the coffee from the cafe.
Right, that's the cafe coffee. So that's number 1, and then you got 4 more to try.
I like it.
You like that a lot?
I like it a lot. And today is National Coffee Day. Is that what you're talking
And
about?
100%.
Now, I need to know who started creating these things because I remember being a kid. I never heard of National Coffee anything.
Or National Red Wine Day or National New York Day. There's a national day to celebrate everything.
It is National Red Wine Day every day. That's a national 365-day holiday.
We have to find out some of the best red. Can we ask you some of the best wines? Are you allowed to share?
So we ask you the worst
She
one.
might not answer our question, but we can ask anything we want to ask.
But before we ask, we're going to ask, do you like red or white better?
Oh, come on.
It's a big difference.
That's a tough question. But I mean, it depends on what I'm eating, what's going on in the world. I mean,
What's going on in the world? It's Tuesday. It's 12 o'clock. You'll probably go
all
to
right,
White's.
you know what? I'll take a glass of rosé right now. How about that?
Oh, we've got Jacqueline Coleman, writer Jacqueline Coleman with us, and our producer Dylan was supposed to be here, but I don't see him. But Dylan's been finding some great guests.
Dylan is on the ball. I got to tell you, I'm impressed with the kid.
And Dylan sent us the information on Jacqueline, and he does hound us to follow up on our emails, and which is really great. So I got the pleasure of speaking with Jacqueline on Friday, I think it was.
Yeah.
And she is, I must say, Freddie, it is still all about the you. I have
not
to tell
again.
you.
Big
Really?
win this weekend.
Big win this weekend, but it goes way back to
You
the
go to the U
origination of
also?
the U. Oh, it was
She goes
bigger
to
than
the-
that.
Oh.
I went to the U, but my family history goes way back, as Dawn said. My great-grandfather was one of the founders of the athletic department there at the university, and my grandfather was a past president of the Orange Bowl committee. And he was actually, and Dawn, I don't think I told you this, but when he was 5 years old, he was the first mascot for the team. So he ran in front of the team with a 00 jersey and a soft-sided helmet. And so actually, I think it was in 1996 when they did the 70th anniversary of the first team, my grandfather was invited back to also take part in that as the first mascot. And no, he was not Sebastian the Ibis. But it was funny because these old men, you know, these guys that had played football who were 15 years older than him were patting him on the back saying, "Oh, it's so great to see you, so great to see you." And he's kind of like, "Oh, I was a kid." But so it was a, you know, great honor, and I was on the field with him that day for that. So
I got to ask a question. 58, 40, 38.
I'm
Is the
waiting.
University of Miami about 40 years old, 38, 48, around there, 45?
No, the university was founded in 1921 or 25.
Really?
25.
It's
21,
funny, when
25.
I was in Puerto Rico, I had to be in 76, 77, around there. I received a letter from the University of Miami. Because I remember that the mascot is the pigeon, the
The
bird.
ibis.
He's an ibis.
He's an ibis. Yes, he's a bird.
He's a bird,
He's an
right?
ibis,
With
yes.
a muscle.
Yeah,
And he has a
yes.
big U on his chest. And he wears like a sailor's hat or something.
He's the yes.
Sometimes he has a
ECIS?
pipe.
Ibis.
Ibis, Ubis, we all miss, whatever. That thing showed up at my house, right? So I had never heard of it.
The mascot or an actual bird?
The school at NYU, in Puerto Rico. So I put it on the bed. I put all my universities on the bed. And my mother said, "You're going to go to Florida." Oh, man, you know, the more I think about this, I think the reason I didn't go to the University of Miami was because I ended up going to New York City.
You might have
NYU.
met me sooner.
Wow. But I'm 5 years older than you.
Yeah, maybe not. It depends how long it took you to get through school. But you went through school early,
I was 16.
so I would have never met you there. You're 5 years older, plus you went
You
2
were
years
11.
early. So yeah, pretty much.
Where the hell were you? But I'm beginning to think because I remember the mascot being a little bit different. And you were involved from its inception. Your dad was running around being the
My
mascot.
grandfather.
Your grandfather was the mascot.
But he
You
was,
went
he
there
was
too?
not the ibis. He was a little boy that just ran in front of the team. This was before the inception of the ibis. So he was just a little boy.
But the Orange Bowl too. You told me Ghost of the Orange Bowl, and my gosh, everyone knows the Orange Bowl.
Yeah. Well, my great grandfather was one of the founders of the Orange Bowl Committee, so he was one of the first members and a past president. And then my grandfather was a president in the 60s, early 60s. So he was actually the first second generation president of the Orange Bowl Committee. And he was president the year that JFK attended the Orange Bowl game, which was early 1963, right before he unfortunately passed away later that year. So there's a photograph of, the famous photograph is JFK flipping the coin, and my grandfather standing next to him. And there was a headline in one of the Miami papers that said, "Mr. President, meet Mr. President." Because at the time, the Orange Bowl Committee, and it still is, but it was very prestigious, and being president of the Orange Bowl Committee was a big deal. So, having the president of the United States obviously was also a big deal to have him at the game.
Was your great-grandfather from Miami?
So my great-grandfather came down from Georgia, I believe. My grandfather was born in Miami. My mom was born in Miami. I was born in Miami. So
you've been in Florida all your life?
All my life, with the exception of a few years I lived in Washington, D.C. But yes, for most of my life, yes.
Miami's a lot different. Coral Gables is totally different.
Yeah. It's a beautiful place. And Coral Gables, again, over the course of my lifetime, I've seen that part of Miami change. I've seen Coral Gables change. It became my favorite little city. I moved away and I came back, and I really love it. So, great things happening there.
And that's just one side of what you do. So we're trying to hone in on what Jacqueline actually does.
Well, if you can figure it out, let me know.
Everything we turn around, she does something else.
Well, she's involved in, that, or you don't like pivoting, because she's doing different things right now. Her career is definitely going on the upswing. I know that she does radio.
I do.
Once a week, right? You do a segment?
I do. I'm a guest host on Linda Gassenheimer's show, so it's not my personal show, but Linda has a great show. It's called Food News and Views, and I do her wine segment. So.
And tell us about what you do with wine. You kind of we can rent you. Now pronounce the word right, because we have this whole thing. It's sommelier. Sommelier.
So that's a big debate. I think, technically sommelier. However, I've heard sommelier and nobody really corrects you. So
it's like Vimeo and Venmo. It's kind of the same thing in Freddie's
Don't be
word.
a wise guy. They make fun of my English.
We make fun of his English quite a bit.
So there's another lady that we know, her name is Dawn, and I call her Dawn the wine chick, because if you think I'm going to remember, I couldn't even remember her name. I was calling her a different
Well, you're going
name.
to tell me Harry is a sommelier.
Yes, he is.
Can you say that word?
No.
That's why we have this conversation all the time.
He says he is a sommelier.
I know.
They fly. You talk about being flown all over the world. This guy's been all over the world because he's in the top 100.
Yeah.
As a sommelier.
But that's one side of what you do. And what do you do with that?
Well, I think the main thing is that I got the basis of my wine education in order to write about wine, to write, intelligently about the subject. So primarily what I do is I write about wine. I have the Vino column for Biscayne Times newspaper in Miami. I write for a website called Wine Traveler. So there's all different outlets that I write for, and I think that doing the sommelier education and doing various other educational organization certifications, that sort of thing, has led me to be a better writer and be able to understand the concepts better, and that's mainly my reason for it.
I got to tell you, it's a trip walking in with her into a restaurant. It really is, because people are going to know that she's the wine taster.
Connoisseur, sommelier.
Yeah, and they're going to say, get the good wine out of the back. Things of that nature.
Only if they follow me on social media. I don't know.
No, I'm going to tell you, it's a small community.
But you have a tremendous social media following.
I have some friends.
So when you sit down to dinner with somebody, who orders the wine?
Well, so this is weird because I don't want to be like that person that's like, oh no, like give me the list. So if someone requests that I order a wine, I will. But usually I take the consensus of the table. What do people want to drink? Like you said, red or white. If rosé.
And you don't sort of laugh, like if I were to say, "Give me the Boone's Farm in the box."
I wouldn't judge you too harshly.
Until she saw our bottle and she went, no, you don't want to drink
yeah,
that.
I did.
No,
I
this
did
is
say
actually a
that.
prop.
Okay.
I'm not drinking, ladies
Yeah,
and
I
gentlemen.
said don't drink that.
That's
But-
hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, there's, right, I'm not going to be a snob, right? And I hate that in the industry. There's this elitism, there's this pretentious, attitude. And that's not how I drink. That's not how I drink.
Well, let me ask you a question. How do you feel about beer?
So I don't drink beer.
What about spirits?
I drink spirits. I like gin. I've gotten into gin lately, and a vodka tonic here or there, Bloody Mary.
And how about coffee?
I love coffee.
Well, good. We got a few things lined up here for taste testing.
Love coffee.
And Crazy Uncle Mike just walked in the door with a few bottles of something.
Hi.
That's
We're
crazy.
not
Uncle
quite
Mike.
sure what Mike just walked. We have to give Mike a mic. We got to give Mike a mic.
Those aren't beers.
Mike and Mike.
We got to give Mike a
I
mic.
heard Mike is the hairiest mask on radio. Because he has all the beer hanging
We'll
out of
ask
your
him
mask. I
first.
think that is such a trip. And then you put it everywhere, but that's like everybody knows. I didn't even know your last name, Mike. She told me today.
That's what he said.
That's what I thought. I
He
thought
said
you were
she's got a,
crazy,
he goes,
Mike.
he's got a name. He has a name.
That's pretty good.
And you write for different social content, social media content.
Yeah. I do social media marketing as well for clients. Like consulting but that's kind of my business. That's not the front page. That's the back page. That's the behind the scenes.
Interesting.
She
We
does,
got
she does wines, and to fill in Mike, she does wines, and she writes.
I do wines. I don't
She's
actually
like
make wine.
A
I just
wine
do them.
connoisseur. What do you call
Sell
it?
them or?
I write
sommelier.
Sommelier.
Yeah.
So we're very careful because we're dumping all the bad wine out, as you
Yeah.
can tell. They just have it here for prop.
We got to get some better wine. We got some beer. Mike just brought in some beer, and we've got some coffee tasting because today is
So let-
National Coffee
So
Day.
let's start with the coffee because it's going to get cold, and I don't like cold coffee.
All
I should have
right.
brought my coffee flavored beer. I just didn't.
But that,
See, I would
that's-
be interested in
I
that.
brought a barrel aged beer and our
We could pour coffee in.
Oktoberfest called.
We need a
Spice for
third
Life.
cup to give.
Third and fourth? You got 3 and 4?
That's all right. What about the little cups?
Use the other one.
We can use the little
Just a
shot ones.
taste.
Yeah.
So to set this thing up, Mike was on the set March 13th,
The little styrofoam
right
is fine.
before.
Awesome. Thank you.
But it's amazing when I look at it sitting from this chair.
Sparkle. He knew that was me.
Right before the pandemic hit.
Right.
And we were talking about, we have to overcome, we have to charge, we have to keep going. And he was the last person we had in studio on the 13th, right?
It was St. Patrick's Day.
That was the 17th. It was around that day.
It was Tuesday, St. Patty's Day, yeah.
Yeah. And I followed Mike now through this whole thing. And Mike has stayed open. And Mike has pushed, and he pushes, and he keeps going. And I know that you've helped out your workers and everything else. And Mike is very unique in this neck of the woods because no matter how many people have said, you got to keep going, you got to keep going, it was because of Mike we never closed down. That was a tribute to him because he said, you got to keep going, you got to stand back, you got to be strong, don't let anybody stop you and keep going. And it was because of that we did when Mike started this whole thing. So I wanted to bring Mike back so we could talk to him to see how it's going for him. I know you got a brand new Rep piano.
Actually, that has been on our place since the beginning.
Has
I just
it?
took it off the stage. In fact,
Oh,
you
okay.
sat next to it many a times when you were doing
Did
your
I?
show on stage.
But Mike gives you a lot of beer. You know what I'm
Um,
saying?
So
I
can
just
ask
moved
where
it,
where
changed
the
its
restaurant
location.
Is? Where's
Yeah,
your
we're
restaurant?
6450 North Federal Highway here in
Okay.
Boca.
Okay.
So it is north of Yamato, north of Jeffries. Everybody knows the Duck. The Duck Tavern is
Okay.
on the corner of
I'm like,
Jeffries.
I'm-
We're just a little further north.
I'm not a Boca person, so I'm learning.
A little
It's a
further.
beautiful place. It's
It's
the
a
place to
freestanding
go.
building. It sits on a city block. It's it stands out. It's a brewery,
About 5 minutes from here.
restaurant, live music venue.
It's a beautiful place, and the food is divine. And he has sets. He puts in bands. I mean, the thing is a stage that's unheard of. The way he's done. He's from Vegas. He knows Showtime. He knows the business, and he's kept it open, and pushed and kept it open. Like deliveries and everything else. And I wanted to ask you, how's it going?
You know, this week was pretty good for us in the sense of what the governor decided to do, which was eliminate some of the restrictions on our businesses and allow all the bars in the state to open. I never understood why they were being punished when everybody else was opened. And, you know, I don't own a bar right now. I own a restaurant and I own a brewery. But it was it was so weird and so arbitrary to say that everybody else can open, but you guys can't, you know, and it's like that. Just didn't feel right, and I'm glad that they finally overcame that decision. I think that the county and the governor are going to have some discussions this week about occupancy levels, and the governor wants to leave it up to the restaurants, and the county still wants to control it. And I think that, you know, at the end of the week, we'll know which one it is, and we'll follow suit on however they decide that we have to go forward. And thus far, you know, I've been able to add some seating on the outside, and, you know, making up for some of the space that we've lost on the inside has helped us a lot. Having great customers and, you know, that like what we're doing, that come back and support us, you know, that's been real helpful. And the music, the musicians, everybody's kind of worked together to try to achieve something that's been positive. And, you know, we never let it get to us, you know, from day one. We felt like, you know, everybody's dealing with the same thing, so you're going to cry in your soup, or you're going to figure out how to get going, you know. And I think we did an okay job, and I think that a lot of places did do an okay job too. And I think we're all going to come out of this soon, and I'm feeling pretty positive.
You've got a 2nd-year anniversary party coming up this weekend, right?
Yeah, man, it's something that a lot of people told us that would never happen in this building. You know, they told me the building was haunted.
Yes.
They told me that, you know, I mean, half the owners that have ever owned the building died in the building, I think. I'm not sure.
Yes.
That restaurant's been more things.
Definitely, yeah. So to be walking into our 3rd year, you know, having our 2nd anniversary is a lot of fun, and it feels, you know, it feels like we accomplished something that people didn't think we could do. I believe that we have a lot of people that are liking what we're doing. We're, you know, between Tara's Food and Corey's Beer and Eric's personality at the bar and the team that we've had, I think that, you know, we've got a good support system in this community, and we built a family, we built a community, and you know, Crazy Uncle Mike's 2 years ago was just, what the hell is that? And now when you say it, most people have an understanding that it's an all right place here in Boca. So
Absolutely.
He's
That's-
being modest. It's more than all right. Mike, I'm going to tell you, is probably the house in Boca right now.
I mean, I need to
Everyone
check
knows
this
Crazy
place
Uncle
out.
Mike's.
it's a lot of fun.
Everybody, and you know, he's always done well there, and it's true. I heard somebody died in the place. I was told that he was never going to make it. I remember all these things, and I was said nothing makes it there. That's the famous line.
Is it
to
because
say.
the ghost chases you out, or
It's like there's 2 places. That's one, and there's another place over on
Dixie and Glades.
Yes.
They're doing well too, Troy's.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the
They're
place, right?
They're doing a great job over there. Well, yeah, since, you know, just in the 4 years I've been here, that place has been 3 things. You
Yep.
know? It was a Golden Tab, then it was ACA, and then, you know, so it was flipping.
Flips.
And it had just flipped right before then. So I'm real happy for Troy and his crew. They're doing a great job there, and the food's awesome. So if you haven't tried it, it's a great barbecue.
They have a
place
big
to check
smoker
out.
outside. We haven't tried it. We should reach out to them also.
I was there. I don't know, a year or 2 years
There's
ago.
a big smoker outside when you drive by.
Yeah. They do all their cooking outside, and for the main part, for their big meat.
All right, why don't we go to commercial break? When we come back, we're going to do the coffee taste, coffee first, girls, and then we'll go into the beer. And then we'll figure out what else we're going to do. So stay tuned. 888-994-4995, and we'll be right back.
Even though some things are far away, we plan for them ahead of time because they're important. When it comes to your celebration of life, it's really no different. You want to plan ahead now so your family doesn't have to later, and create a service that reflects your values, character, and traditions, no matter what they may be. At Dignity Memorial, we listen to every detail and make sure everyone is remembered.
At Carmen Care Advanced Laser Therapy, our professional team specializes in finding the best alternative laser therapy treatments for your painful conditions. Do you suffer with chronic pain, a post-traumatic injury, or simply looking for the benefits of cell rejuvenation to the skin? Schedule a consultation today to understand how photobiomodulation can help reduce your symptoms, reduce or even eliminate pain. Give us a call today, 561-405-9577. We focus on treating you who has a disease, not a disease that defines who you are. Contact Carmen Care Laser Therapy today, 561-405-9577 or CarmenCareLaser.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listen to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Your systems are offline.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
And we're back at the Brooklyn Cafe Show. I was just talking to Mike. I said,
I don't know what it is, but this applause button, it's like that's the video button.
it's delayed applause, and there we have it. On our morning show, I told you I went to Crazy Uncle Mike's this weekend to watch the Hurricane game, which was an amazing win.
Because they won, yes. It was an amazing game.
And the couple that we went with, sometimes we would go down with them to the game and tailgate and do all those fun things that we used to do at the Orange Bowl. But it was a big game. It was FSU Miami, and we went to Crazy Uncle Mike's, and Mike sat us right. I texted him ahead of time, right in front of the TV outside on the patio. If it had rained, they have things that can go down, and it was great. The food was great, and I think our friend had he had a bourbon beer.
Yep.
He said he was on his second glass by the time we got there. And I said, "What are you doing? A taste test?" He said, "Yeah, I tasted the whole glass first, and then there was like this much left." He said it was unbelievable.
Great. Yeah, we have good beers. Corey makes an amazing product.
Which is fantastic. But we're going to go to the beer because that's cold. So let's start with what's a little lukewarm because today is National Coffee Day.
I thought we were going to the coffee.
We are.
You said we're going to the beer.
After the coffee. We're going to keep the beer cold and go to the hot.
Okay, whatever
All right,
she
what do we
said, I'll
have?
do.
So we have 5 different coffees from 5 different shops around here, and everyone has a little bit of it. And if you guys want to taste it, rate it, and try and guess where it's from.
Okay, this is not a shot. This is a mug.
Okay, well, it was the smallest size that I got.
Oh, well, I could have taken a shot.
Okay.
All right.
Do I taste it now?
Yeah?
Yes.
Sorry if they're a little lukewarm. We microwave them as much as we could.
Wow.
That's is also-
that's
I
not a
like
recommendation.
Oh my God. You like it?
Scary.
It's soft.
It's smooth. Okay, what the hell did you put in my cup?
No milk and no sugar. That's why you got to drink it
Is that what it is?
organically.
Yeah, it's black coffee.
This is delicious.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Absolutely not.
What do you think it is?
This is some Pepe Le Pew or something. It can't
What
be a
are the
name brand.
choices?
So we have from Dunkin' Donuts is one of the choices. We have Starbucks. We have gas station coffee. We have from a French cafe in the town center mall that La Bulgarier, I can't pronounce.
French, yes. French
And
like
we
it better.
have Carmela's coffee from down the road.
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna
just
say-
had Carmela's this morning.
I'm gonna say gas
Yeah,
station.
probably. Gas station?
Yes, because there's
Where is Carmela's?
some gas in here.
Either that
It's,
or Dunkin'.
Is that next to Tracy?
Close to it, yeah.
Okay.
It's a super cute little shop. I stopped in there earlier.
Is it in that Healing Moment strip mall?
I think so. I ordered it.
I think it is. It used
That was
to-
one of our morning knocks.
I think it's next. Okay.
And then do you guys want to give it a rating? Or do you want to just figure out, find out what it
I'm
is?
scared to give it a rating.
This one?
Don't go by Freddie.
Don't go by me.
Did you guys pick where you think it's from?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's expensive. It's not Starbucks. I know that because Starbucks is usually a little,
Richer.
yeah.
Isn't that rich?
It's not
Maybe Dunkin' or maybe gas station.
I would concur with those potentials.
But wait, we need one: the Dunkin' or the cafe or the gas station.
I'm gonna say gas station with you, so we just keep
Gas
it rolling.
Gas station?
Okay. I'll just say Dunkin' for the sake of being a country.
I saw we're 2 and 2.
Wait a minute. What's the rating? 1 to what?
1 to 10.
10 being great.
10 being great.
All right, I'll go last because I can tell you my number.
A 6.
6?
What is wrong with you?
Fairness and equality.
What's you guys'
it's
guesses?
coffee.
Or ratings?
It's average. 6 is
Yeah,
fine.
6.
All right.
Ready?
1.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
All
There
right.
must be something wrong with my cup.
What's our
It's
next
like
one?
sulfuric acid.
Next one, so that one, do you want to find out what this one is or find them out at the end altogether?
I find them at the end.
Okay.
Otherwise, it limits our choices.
Oh, that's true.
Oh my God. Not for nothing, but this segment has a whole. You know, what happened to just a little pour? Hector, you want coffee?
Set it down for me.
I just got a bunch of smalls because the smallest they would give me.
See, this is better. This, I would say, is Dunkin'. Hector,
You
you
think
want
that one's
coffee?
Dunkin'?
I think this is
Here,
Starbucks.
Which one do you want? You want here? Give this to Hector.
Don, you think this is Starbucks?
I think this is Dunkin'.
you say Starbucks.
I just don't drink Dunkin' enough to know.
Pretty close to
This one's too bitter for me.
Yeah.
You find this bitter?
Yeah.
like
I give that one like a
You like
2.
it?
I think I like this
Don,
one
that
better,
one's a
though.
2. I know, they're all
Heat
kind
it
of
up.
lukewarm.
You like it, or you want to try this?
What do you guys think?
Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna say something in fairness. These coffees are not warm. They're not
Yeah,
even
I
barely
heated them
warm.
up as much as I
So
could.
We're drinking room temperature things and trying to judge them. So if we're wrong, that's my excuse.
Yes.
Dunkin' Donuts is what I think this one is.
Yeah, me too. I think this is room temperature Dunkin' Donuts.
Right.
All right.
All right, that's 3.
Yes, I need her guess.
Oh, sorry, Jacqueline.
Oh. Well, see, I want to say Dunkin' Donuts again, but I mean, how many times can I say Dunkin' Donuts?
As many as you want.
You're gonna
Technically
get it right
5.
one
We're
time.
just having fun.
You're getting it right once.
Like, okay, fine. That
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin'.
And what's the number, 1
You
to
say
10?
Dunkin' every time. You got it.
Don, you rated it a 2?
Yep.
right? I don't know. Okay.
Freddie, what do you give it?
6.
Freddie gives it
Yeah.
a 6. Jacqueline, Mike, what do you
Average,
get?
Yes, the 6
6?
is fine. 6.
Mike shaking his head yes.
Yeah, 6 works.
6?
Jesus
All
Christ.
right.
Okay.
We just
We
have a lot of
digress.
mugs
I'm
to
gonna
wash.
give you guys like a this. See, this
Oh,
is
see,
great.
this is Starbucks. This is Starbucks.
All right. Starbucks, you said?
Possibly. What were the other two? Camellas or?
Starbucks,
French
Dunkin',
cafe?
Carmela's, La Bourgière, and gas station.
So I've never had a Camilla's or La Bougie lately.
I don't know what it's
I'm gonna
called.
go with Starbucks.
French fry. Going Starbucks.
I'm gonna say Starbucks because it tastes burnt.
I'm gonna
I
go
think-
with Camila because it tastes burnt.
I say French.
Well,
French.
I only had an iced coffee from there, so I actually don't know what their black coffee tastes like.
Freddie?
Camila.
Camilla's. And ratings?
5.
5.
6.
6.
Slick, where's the Enchantress?
Oh,
All right.
stop by today.
All right, we'll go to 4.
She's gonna miss me.
4.
I think so too. You know, Mike would be a good one to ask.
Jeez Louise.
Tastes like full
Gonna have a lot of dishes to do today.
Remember these
I just
cups?
realized that.
These are
I
throwback.
don't know, but these 3 aren't that good. This one's pretty good. The Starbucks I could drink.
Starbucks.
Gas station.
Freddie.
Starbucks.
I say gas
I
station.
mean, there's a Starbucks on every corner, so theoretically it could be from like multiple.
What do you guys think?
Technically, it's always there.
I've already voted for the 3 that I know, so now I'm just gonna be flat
Yes.
guessing.
You can always
So,
double guess.
Camilla's.
Camilla's?
I'm just gonna say the French place just for the sake of saying something different.
All right. And ratings?
0.
7.
Hard 7.
Hard 7.
Mike, Jacqueline?
6.
6?
4.5.
Did you and I ever agree?
No. 4.5. Now that's an interesting. That's like saying I have 2.3 children.
I'm a Libra. I'm indecisive.
Oh, is that what it is?
This is the last one?
Yep, this is the
Last
last,
one,
one.
huh? All right, so let's see what this one's like.
You didn't
Wow.
even chink it yet.
That's the not my favorite. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Camilla's.
What's the French one called?
La Bourgière. You can just say the French one.
La Bouge, whatever it is.
Bougie.
Oh my
Mike,
God.
Jacqueline?
Whatever one I haven't guessed, it's that one.
Okay.
I guess I'll go with Carmela's because
And
I
I
haven't guessed that one yet.
I've given everyone
All
else,
right.
the
Water.
other ones a 6. I'm going to give this one a 5.
Now we need the beer to wash it down with Mike.
La
I'm gonna
Bouge.
go 5 on that too.
Don, Freddie,
I was
ratings?
really hoping
4.
it was a love one,
4.
please.
0.2.
4.
But again, in all fairness,
4.2.
they're old and cold.
1.2.
All right. So, 4, which one you guys was your favorite? Your favorite was the third one, which was Starbucks. That was the highest rated.
And we all guessed Starbucks, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost all of you guessed it. For the first one was Carmela's. You guys rated it a 19 between you. The second one was Dunkin' Donuts, and you guys all got that one right. That was rated 20. The third one was Starbucks, was rated a 22. The fourth one was the mall, the French cafe. Excuse me. The French Cafe, the La Bougier, was rated a 17.5, and the last one was Gas Station Coffee, rated at an 18.
18
no-
what?
18 out
18
of,
out of
I don't
20?
know, however many you
18
guys
out of
did.
20?
I feel pretty good about that.
Out of 40.
I mean, at least we didn't
Yeah.
rate gas station highest.
I feel like, so Carmela's got the best.
No, Starbucks got the
Starbucks.
best.
Starbucks got the best.
Starbucks, then
Okay.
Dunkin', then Carmela's, then the gas station, then the French
But
Cafe.
do you think that's because we're all used to Starbucks? Like we've had Starbucks the most, and so we know that one better? I don't know. Is that
It could be
like
familiarity.
your palate is used to tasting Starbucks?
And Starbucks has a bite to it.
Yeah,
The
it's
coffee
burnt.
is a little bit different.
Burnt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they also have hundreds of different flavors, so this is kind of a dark roaster trip, dark, you know. But I know that some of their lighters, their blondes, they don't have that same burnt flavor that this did.
Well, and to be fair, I usually have a latte at Starbucks, so it's usually packed full
Sweet.
of cream and sugar.
And that's what we got. Now we're going to wash it down with some
I
beer.
drink my coffee black.
Do we know what we're pouring? Are you pouring the same one in all of them?
Do you drink your coffees black?
I do.
You do? I can't get into it. I should because I put too much creamer in. I don't put sugar anymore. I put sweetener, but
All right. We're going to, you want to go right into our beer testing? You want to
Yeah.
take a commercial first?
no, let's go right
All
into
right.
this.
So Mike brought two
Which
beers.
one did you open?
This one I opened. You guys are drinking now, the black top one.
The black top is what you're doing now.
So this is the ones where you use the bigger mugs.
But let's talk to Mike about the brewery, what you've got going on there, because Crazy Uncle Mike's has many things. You've got bands, you've got great food, which a unique menu, a full bar, and a brewery, and outside seating, and so many things at Mike's.
Yeah, we're basically craft across all boards, right? So it's kind of an art space. The beer is our art, our food is our art, our music is our art, and then actual entertainment. I mean, the space itself is part of the art, and it's if you're a frequenter there, you will realize that it changes quite a bit. It's always evolving. We're moving things. We're taking down walls. We're putting up barrel walls. We're aging beer a lot in there, but we make spectacular beer. And I think that one of our misses on our marketing, I think we've done some great things with marketing, but one of our misses, I think, was really screaming that we're a brewery, and we haven't done that. We're a great brewery, and we make spectacular beers, and I think people don't even know we're a brewery. They just think we're a restaurant on Federal Highway.
Right.
And it doesn't say brewery on our signs, it just says brews. So brews, bites, and beats, those were our three focuses: beer, food, and music. But we also have a craft bar, so we have great cocktails too. And our bourbon list is over 160, I think, bourbons, ryes, and scotches.
Wow. Yeah, everyone knows you for your music. Because someone asked me over the weekend where your band's back and where you open. So everyone knows Crazy Uncle Mike's for their music.
We never stopped bands.
what I
We
told
got on the 17th when I was here at 3:00 that afternoon. The mayor sent in somebody to give us a note that says you're closed. And on the 18th we opened as a to-go. On the 21st we had our first concert for live streaming, and that was Spread the Dub. And we kind of got that rolling faster than anybody. We dubbed it the Corona Fest, and we did 3 to 4 shows a week all the way through. And we, even after we opened in May, we continued the live streaming, and it's a way for the people that are not comfortable to go out to still have great entertainment at home. They can watch music from Crazy Uncle Mike's stage Wednesday through Sunday usually. So 5 nights a week you can sit at home and watch concerts on your TV on YouTube. Crazy Uncle Mike's.
And the food is amazing. And so we were telling people we went there Saturday night, and yes, felt totally safe and amazing. They said, but sports bars aren't known for their food. I said, well, it's really not a sports bar. It's this eclectic space, and the food is unbelievable. My husband said the best hamburger he has ever had by far was the burger you had.
That's great. Yeah, Tara Abrams is our chef. Tara started with me 10 months before we actually opened. We created the desire what we wanted to be, and she is an executive chef. She's not she's been around here for 20 years doing what she does. She graduated college from Lynn University in the space of hospitality, and has taken on the role of food from that day forward. And I'll tell you what, I've never worked with somebody that's so solid, on her game every day, does great food. Any suggestions I give, we make adjustments and do things to just constantly improve and make it better and better and better. And I'm stoked to have Tara.
You're going to have to check it out there
She
while
has
you're
a-
still down up here.
No, I'm thinking about it this afternoon, actually.
While you're here.
Her sous chef our sous chef is Andreas Avayu, and he used to own a restaurant that was a fine dining restaurant in Fort Lauderdale called Piccolo. and it was open 5 years. It was a high-end 20-seat restaurant, super in. He's an amazing chef too. So we got 2 real creative people in our kitchen. And then Corey Wilson, who makes our beer, he's worked with some of the best brewers in the state, and now I think he is one of the best brewers in the state. So if you haven't tasted our beer, you need to taste our beer. And if you don't like beer, drink our sour. It'll change your mind.
Their sours are amazing.
And you don't drink beer.
I don't, but I'm smelling this. There's a lot.
The aroma is unbelievable.
Yes.
A lot of, like,
And this is an age. This is a quad. I think they sent
All
me.
right, so what are we drinking here? You brought in 2 different ones. This is the lighter one.
smells good.
It's lighter in color. It's over 12% alcohol. It's been barrel aged in a whiskey barrel, and you can taste the whiskey highlights in it.
Yeah.
And it started off as a Belgian quad, and then aged. So it's a really
This is
nice,
spectacular.
full.
It's very fruity though.
Way better
Yep.
than coffee.
A lot of like mango.
Yeah, that coffee.
But it's a different taste, a finishing taste. I don't want to say swallow, I don't know if you guys, but it's just different.
Especially with my acronym for my
I'm
business.
dying with your hat, so sorry. Freddie can't see your hat. Can you?
I can't. I missed it.
Yeah.
I gotta save you on the sidelines.
You just saved me out on that one. Our crew was dying over it also, and Mike finally turned around. I'm like, yeah, but it's got a different finishing taste.
It's because of it's been being aged
that what it is?
in a whiskey barrel, right? So you're catching the hues of the whiskey flavors in through the quad. So it started off as a strong beer, and then it picked up new flavors while it sat in that barrel for 6 months.
It's got a really long finish.
Yeah, I'm still I'm still tasting it now.
I mean, I'm tasting it like it tastes wine, so I'm
Exactly, and that's the difference with it now. Beers are like wines in the sense of the palate and educating your palate. And we'll drink some when you come by, and I'll give you a little roll of different flavor palettes that we do, and you'll like it. I think.
I'm all about the beer education. I don't know that I'll ever be a beer girl, but ironically, I worked for Miller Lite when I was in college. I was a Miller Lite girl.
That's not beer.
I know, but I don't even drink beer. But this is very complex to me. Like, this is very interesting.
Great. I'm glad you like it.
Slick, can you pass out the other ones also, please? And this looks darker, but it's not.
It is actually our beer that we made as a donation that we're doing for childhood cancer awareness. So September, which is still today and tomorrow, is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, along with Suicide Prevention Month, which are both great causes to support. So we raised money this month to be able to donate it to people that are suffering with children with cancer. And so this beer is called Spice for Life that we're about to get. And it's a Oktoberfest with a pumpkin spice in it.
So what does Oktoberfest mean for someone who's beer
It's a
ignorant?
German-style beer.
Oh, I like this one.
And an Oktoberfest, when you're making it pre-flavoring it like we did with the pumpkin, it's going to be specific grains and specific yeasts and specific, to make it an Oktoberfest. So that's, every beer style has certain things that has to be in order to be designated that particular product.
And then you add the flavoring.
I like this one better.
Like, what is the process?
This particular one is
My
post.
education coming up.
Some flavors, when you're doing basils and things like that, you can actually flavor them in the brewing process while you're doing the boil. You can also flavor it in the fermenting process while the yeast is doing its work in bags. So like you can put your leaves in bags and drop it in and make a basil beer, right? But a lot of the beers are flavored post fermentation, which is this. So we put in the pumpkin spice flavoring after we make the beer. And so we can do it for
This is
specific
really good.
kegs. You can do it one-off. You can, there's so many things you can do with beer now. It's really fun.
This is really good.
And this is one of my favorites. They did a good job with this.
This is like
You get a whole beer education. Now you've got the wine, and now we get a whole beer
doing
education.
tastings all day today. I should have brought something in.
An Uber driver.
Well, I did Uber here. So.
She wears it. She's good. These are
This is-
great.
This is good. I mean, that's good too. That one's gone, but this is different.
So with proceeds of part of these sales went to, or goes to?
We are, my wife and I are helping raise funds through this foundation called Love, Light, Compassion Organization. So every dollar we take in, they let us use 100% to take back out. So we're using their 501c3 to help out families that were in the same boat as we were in last year. And so we're helping families that are fighting their children's cancers. And this year, the money that we earned in September is going to go to one family that is a single mother. The daughter's just relapsed. She has a son that's autistic, and she's just in a hurt, you know.
Wow.
And so we raised several $1,000s in September that will all go to her family, and it'll be life-changing for them. It'll help them a lot. We also support several other foundations in that world. Special Spaces is one. They build bedrooms for children with cancer. So a lot of kids go home to an environment that's not healthy. It's not conducive of healing. And so they'll go in and they'll rebuild a kid's bedroom for them and make it special for them, but also put in the medical needs that go in along with it sometimes. So they can do things that keep it clean. They can do things that give them oxygen and other medical needs. So that's Special Spaces. There is Kaya Smiles is another one. They lost Kaya 11 years ago, and 100% of their proceeds go back to families in need. So there's a lot of places you can help. It's still September, so if it's in your mind, you know, if you got a little bit in your pocket, you can help out any way you can. You know, if you want to go big foundation for research, you know, I think that St. Jude's is the best place to go. You know?
We have a gentleman coming tomorrow, right, that does cancer, raising money for cancer kids in Jupiter. And
With surfboards, I think it is, right?
Yeah, surfing. So we're going to bring him on tomorrow, courtesy of JoJo put that together.
Love to meet him.
He's gonna come.
Yeah, absolutely.
But hey, we got a big week this week.
Yes, you have an announcement. We
Got
talked
a lot
about
of things
that.
going on.
So let's go to commercial break. When we come back, we're going to hear about more that's going on with Crazy Uncle Mike's.
Absolutely.
I think there's some more beer left, so have some more beer. We made a nice interaction here, and now she will forever be drinking Crazy Uncle Mike's brews. Good to go.
Can't
Stay
go wrong
tuned.
with the
We'll be
Crazy
right
Mike
back.
Brew.
Introducing Black Tie Liquors, your one-stop shop for wine and spirit needs. Whether you're looking for an ice-cold pack of summer brews or just to grab your favorite bottle of Scotch whiskey, Black Tie Liquors has you covered. Come choose from a wide selection of beers, wines, spirits, or liqueurs. Or if you're in the mood, feel free to grab one of our fresh cigars. Stop by Black Tie Liquors today, located on 5970 South Jog Road, Lake Worth, Florida. Or give them a call at 561-968-09.
AskDearAbby.com. Dear Abby is a life coaching company that was founded by Abby Awotasu. At Dear Abby, we believe in empowering single women to unapologetically own their identities and grow in self-love. We know that in order for you to find true, meaningful, lasting love, you must first love and fully embrace yourself, flaws and all. Contact us today at AskDearAbby.com for your personalized coaching session that will get you on the path to ultimately finding your soulmate. And follow Dear Abby on social media at AskDearAbby on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Pizza District is the official pizzeria of the Brooklyn Cafe Show. They have amazing deals, great food, and an even better customer connection. Their owner, Nico, runs the friendliest and cleanest pizzeria for miles around. With their pizza made with whole wheat, gluten-free, cauliflower crust, and traditional New York style, you can't go wrong. Plus all the extras like salad and chicken wings. They are a family-run business with a great atmosphere. Call today to order your pizza and tell them the Brooklyn Cafe sent you at 561-961-4163. That's 561-961-4163 for Pizza District, the official pizzeria of the Brooklyn Cafe Show.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
So you have a shot and a beer. Shot and a beer.
There's specials that we do periodically. Tell 'em or do, we were doing a special of a shot and a beer. Jameson, we've done that with.
Yes, Jameson familiar. I love that stuff
A
because
shot and a beer. So what was a shot of, followed by the beer?
Well, typically a lot of guys will want to do a shot of whiskey and have a beer to drink.
Right.
So, you know, it's, I guess, priming the pump.
Is that what you do?
That's
It's
what we
like
used
a
to do.
chaser of beer?
That's what we used to do in New York. It was always, and then when I became a diabetic, I had to go to vodka. I can't do the rums or the good stuff, the bourbon and stuff like that.
Tequila's good for
Tequila's the
low
best.
Yeah, for low sugar.
And your sours are great also.
Yeah, he makes a great beer. I didn't want him to make any sour at first, and then he educated me that we could do it safely, because the old way, when you would do a Brettanomyces yeast, it would ruin your equipment. You couldn't do anything other than sours forever on. And so when I was hearing horror stories, my brewer was like, no, I can do it. And I'm like, finally, I gave in after a bit of time, and I trust him completely on his science. So we made one, and it was a great one, and now we've made probably a dozen since then.
And I just have to ask you, your hat's killing me. Who does your marketing?
Noel Hendrickson is our marketing
Oh, back to Noel. He's amazing. He does a lot of your social media also.
Yeah, so he's just the guy that handles most of that stuff. But this particular hat was actually given to me by a guy named Doug, who's a Motley Crue fanatic, and he wears the same hat but with Motley across it. And one day he walked in and gave me this hat.
Oh my gosh.
And we didn't have them at all for sale, but now we do. So we just made our own, and now we're selling them because we got a lot of play on it. It's a little naughty, but it's fun. And the reality is we should have fun.
You should have fun, and that's what Crazy Uncle Mike's is all about. As a social media content writer, are you?
I was just thinking I need to get a hat for my boyfriend.
Well, nobody can say my initials or do my initials without a smile on their face, and that's my mission statement, to put a smile on everybody's face.
And that's absolutely what it is.
We celebrated our anniversary at Crazy Uncle Mike's, and he was nice enough to let us, we brought the axe throwing at the outside, and that was the day that Mike gave me sour beer. And at first I went, I don't know if I like this. And then I think we drank a whole one of those big mug things, one of those big bottles. And then my son was with me, and he says to me, this is the best thing he's ever tasted. So I remember we tried this sour beer when you gave it to us that day, and I've liked it ever since. And I don't like sour beer, but this one's different.
Is sour beer kind of like a niche thing that there's like people are into it, or?
Yeah, I mean hard seltzers now is a big deal. So all the breweries are doing a hard seltzer, sours. There's so many different trends in the beer and the brewing and in a distilling world, so sour beer is just a particular process where you actually brew your beer, you leave it in the kettle and let it sour, just like as if you left orange juice out. And then you boil it, and it takes out all of the enzymes that happen when it's soured, and then you run it back through, and then you put yeast in it and just do the process like you do with a regular beer. But it's going to carry that sour flavor through the whole process, even after boil.
It is good. And tell us what you've got going on for the weekend.
Well, we're starting to party. Today's Taco Tuesdays. We do Latin night tonight. Then tomorrow is ladies' night kind of thing. We do half-price bottles of wine all day and night. And
Day early.
You're in? Your day early.
Jeffrey James Harris is the band tomorrow night. He goes on at 8 o'clock. He's a great blues rock guy. It's his first time to play there, actually. But when I have seen him myself, I was like, man, this guy needs to play at our place, and I really like him a lot. And so that's Wednesday night. And then Thursday night, Shaky T is a band that plays with us a lot. Terrence Glenn, he actually runs a foundation that we help out a lot, and they helped us when we were in the hospital a lot. It's called Ukulele Kids Club. And so Terry's band's called Shaky T, and it's a lot of fun. But every time I have a benefit, every time I do anything to give to people, he's the first guy that says, my band's in. My band's in. We'll play for free every time.
That's awesome.
That's Thursday night, Shaky T. Friday night is Resolvers. The Resolvers is a 10-piece reggae band. Absolutely spectacular. Their energy's increased just every time you go in there. And it's hard to not dance for those guys. They just get you going. And then Saturday night, or Saturday day, we're doing a full brew fest during the day. So we invited some of our friends over from Barrel of Monks, from Prosperity Brewery, Dom over here, and then Nobo and Dave Matthews breweries, Misfits Brewery, ourselves. We're all going to be pouring beer in the afternoon from 4 to 7 o'clock outside. Wow. And we have a little bit of music out there. We're going to have just a really fun afternoon brew fest on 4 to 7 on Saturday outside. And then a band called Tanned is playing Saturday night at 8 o'clock. And Tand is one of our local bands that's been playing for us the whole time we've been open, but they haven't played in public since February. And so this is their first real performance in a long time, and their audience is excited. We're excited about it. And then Sunday's the actual birthday, so the 4th of October is our birthday.
That's my birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday on Sunday.
Happy
We're throwing
birthday.
you a
Well,
party.
you guys have the same birthday too. Look at that.
So October 4th is Sunday, and we do a brunch, and we do bingo during brunch, and we do themed bingos. And so the theme this week is Crazy Uncle Mike's favorite music, and it happens to be a lot of the local bands too. So we're doing it where you have to know the music that you're hearing, and then you mark your bingo card off. Oh, that's fun. And win prizes, and it's a lot of fun. Ladies drink free champagne. They get a bottle each when they walk
Sounds
in.
like my birthday party celebration.
I think you'll be coming back up again this weekend.
And then Sunday night, our most popular band that plays for us is called Crazy Train. And they're playing on Sunday night. They're going to kick off at 7 o'clock.
Did they just play Friday night?
They did.
That's what I thought. Tracy McDonough was there with Martin for his birthday.
That was-
And she said, it's not always easy to get tickets for Crazy Train. She said, I called Mike early. I reserved our table. That's how I knew they were just there.
Yep. It was a good time, and they're
That's what
back
she
again
said.
next Sunday.
She said it was fantastic. Wow, they've got a lot going on. Bands all week long.
Well, he's never shut down. So he's way above
There's
the
a
curve.
difference between never shutting down and growing.
Yeah, but
We
it's
talk about this, and Mike has exploded.
Yeah, but the mindset is there. Mike never turned
Yeah.
off the batteries. Mike isn't starting over. Mike isn't worried about numbers in terms. I mean, he is, but he's not thinking about should I do this or do this. He's doing it, and he hasn't stopped doing it. And this is what I said at the beginning of the show. Mike encouraged everybody, keep going, push through it, find a way, and he did.
What does that mean with the new phases opening?
Well, I think that what the county was trying to do was to, not let certain things do certain things. And the governor was like, I think I'm done with that. Let's get everything open. If you want to restrict anything, you got to write me a rationalization and an economic impact about what that will do, right? So right now we're running at 50% in Palm Beach County, and I think this week the commission and the governor are going to decide where that lands, and wherever that is, that's what we'll do. But right now we're at 50% occupancy, and so it works, for what we're doing. I wear a mask in there. All my staff wears masks in there. After the governor said what he did, people have opted to not wear masks, some people. I'm one that my staff is going to continue wearing masks, but I'm not going to mandate anything that I'm not a policeman, don't want to be a policeman. I sell fun, with a capital F, and I scream the F word constantly, so I want to make people have fun, and I'm not here to tell people how to live their life. We're in America. I was born in America. I was told I was free to make choices here, and if I want to wear a mask, I can put my mask on, and if I don't, I guess I don't have to, and if, I don't want to be a judge of anybody. I just want to sell fun, and if you have fun dancing with a mask on, if you have fun not, I'm not your judge. I'm just going to wear mine.
And your staff, right. All you can do is offer to keep everybody safe.
Everybody has an right, and people that are at risk, I mean, if you look at the numbers, if you're over 70, that's where the highest risk falls. Everything below 70 is in the 99 point something percentile, but hit 70 above, it drops down to 95%, and that's risky, and you got to make sure you're taking care of yourself as well, But because there's certain people at risk, the whole world shouldn't be locked down because of that. It should be choices, and I believe that what the governor's doing here in Florida is great. Not trying to be political, just thinking that as a businessman, I really appreciate having the opportunity to run my business, and the customers that choose to come to my business have the opportunity to choose to do that. I think it's a great thing right now in Florida for us.
Well, I hope when we go back on the road, which we're going to do soon, we have to get that up and going. We can go back to Mike's and do a show from there live, which I think would be a whole lot of fun.
It would be. Mike, I think that a lot of the fear was that the younger kids were trying to get down here when schools, the universities let out, and they came down here and it became a cluster problem. And nobody wanted to take accountability for that. I don't think it was directly meant to hurt the bars, and now he's like, open it all up. I think that what happened was that we didn't understand how complex this thing could get at the beginning of it, and the first phase, it ran amok, and they decided to shut everything down to see where they can pinpoint. But when you have a business owner that's responsible, And I'm talking directly to you. It's a different animal than other people. I mean, I know other places that I was afraid to even walk by, forget about going in, because it was clustered and nobody knew what was going on. Nobody understood it. Nobody, and I don't care what age you were, you could be 18 to 65, diabetic or not. Nobody knew what was going on, and I think it was a knee-jerk reaction. And I don't think that they ever wanted to hurt any of the businesses. I think that now they've come to the realization that you guys run business. You understand the pulse of the community and everything else. So it's a little bit different. I think if they make you the head of this thing, you would make sure people do it correctly. I think that's what they're looking for. We were not letting people in here, and then we'd take temperatures and the whole nine. I was more afraid of it than anything else. I stayed home for 2 weeks while Dawn came in here alone, and then with Teddy as well, and then we started to come back because I didn't understand it. I didn't know.
I get that. I think that for me, the fear of the hospital collapse was the only thing that I bought into as a reason to close down businesses. Was what happened in New York, we were afraid was going to happen nationwide.
Exactly.
Big problem. We didn't want that because then when people got sick, they didn't have any place to go. But that was solved in May. You know, the hospitals had no problems. There was no overload. There was no need for the tents outside, all these things that they did that they didn't ever use. So once we knew that, and that was the only thing that we as business people bought into. There's all kinds of things in the world that are going to be risky and scary and everything else. But you can't shut down the economy because somebody's scared, and you can't shut down the economy when people could have choices to do their own thing. You can choose to stay home and be safe. You can choose to work from home. You can, all those things. So I think that now we're heading the right direction, and it will be told. My daughter's in school. She's in physical school. Half the kids came back. Half the kids didn't come back. It'll be interesting to see how we progress through this. But I'm one that lives my life. I'm the one that doesn't say, hey, I'm going to hide from this. I'm going to say, how do I live with it? How do I avoid it? And let's move forward.
And how we keep businesses still going. What's happening in Miami?
Ooh, well, yeah, it's been a little rough. I believe we're still under curfew, 11 p.m. curfew now.
It's crazy, right?
It was,
Miami Beach was like 8 o'clock at one point, wasn't it?
8 o'clock for liquor stores. 10 p.m. was the curfew all summer. So actually, my boyfriend and I escaped to Sarasota. So we spent 2 months in Sarasota because we wanted to do things. We were foodies, right? We eat, we drink, and I love my boyfriend, and he is a great cook, but I need something else.
You need to go outside.
So we actually went to Sarasota where the rules were a little more lax, but again, I wear a mask around my mom. She's 70 and has health conditions, so I'm not running around in crowds or putting myself at risk, but we decided that we were going to mitigate our risks and go in places that we felt comfortable but not be scared and just stay home all the time. And actually in Sarasota, the numbers never really spiked. There was really no reason to shut down businesses there. And even when we were out and people weren't wearing masks or, it never felt unsafe, and it felt actually normal, and that was comforting. And the numbers over there just didn't reflect a need to really shut down much. In South Florida, we definitely had a spike, and there was issues, but in Miami, I think the curfew is a little arbitrary.
It's open now. The governor last week's decision was statewide, so Miami now has bars open.
But is it up to the business?
Hours are not restricted.
But is it still up to the businesses to shut down earlier, or is the mandate? Because I know they can't fine you now for not wearing a mask. I know that part.
They can't restrict your hours either.
Oh, they can't? Okay, I didn't know that.
Restricted hours ended last Friday.
Okay, and it's funny because I went to Sanibel and I went to the Keys, and 2 different worlds, and everybody wore a mask. Down at the Keys, the police were giving out free masks on the street, and everybody wore them. I was shocked at how clean they are about even everything that they got in, because they don't want it, they don't want it to spike on the island because it would close everything down.
Yeah, no, and in all the places that we went over the summer were, again, social distancing and 50% capacity and all that kind of stuff. But there just wasn't the angst, I guess, on the West Coast as there was here in South Florida, and it was refreshing kind of to be out of Miami for the worst of it. But again, like I said, we're safe. I wear a mask around my mom and people at risk. But it's again about choices, like Mike said, and I think that you have the choice to stay home. You have the choice to go out, and I think and a lot of this, we need to remember personal responsibility. I mean, you have a responsibility to wash your hands and, you know, keep your distance. If you're sick, stay home, you know, like those sort of things. But, you know, I'm all for supporting the businesses being open and business owners being able to make money, because they got to make money too.
It was great. Our friend said Saturday night when we left, it was the first time they had felt normal as going out in 7 months since this happened. That was at your place. So
That's awesome.
So thank you for that. All right, we're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, we have Flynn's Arcade joining us, right? They're on the line? Yep. More to come. Give us a call, 888-994-4995. More beer to go?
No, I want to give her something to do.
And we'll be right back. If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would just listen? It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power, a platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your visions, a voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have the platform to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting CAFE to 80800. That's CAFE to 80800.
Healing Moments Wellness Boutique specializes in integrating scientific and ancient therapies to relieve physical, emotional, and psychological distress. Through the power of touch, coaching, and meditation, clients experience pain relief, relaxation, healing, and detoxification. Contact Healing Moments Wellness Boutique at 561-931-2187 and experience Boca Raton's Healing Haven. Enjoy the benefits of an individualized treatment plan to help find your feelings of peace, complete balance, and wellness. Call Healing Moments today, 561-931-2187, and be rejuvenated.
Welcome to your vacation staycation. And what better way to kick back than to blend up a sweet pina colada, a smooth mojito, or just a nice stiff rum and coke? If you want true relaxation and enjoyment, then you want Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum is a unique rum infusion. Gubba Silver Rum is infused with real shredded coconut, and Gubba Rum Gold is infused with real shredded vanilla bean. Both are made with certified organic ingredients. Each infused Gubba Rum is 35% ABV, 70 proof, and as we say in Boston, wicked smooth. So if you're looking for the best combination of taste, smoothness, quality, and price, your clear choice is Gubba Rum. If you want that wicked smooth taste for yourself or your vacation staycation, visit GubbaRum.com to find your closest liquor store that carries Gubba Rum Gold and Gubba Rum Silver. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
Mark Dane's paintings are custom designed specifically for your space. Each design will not only illuminate your space, but will also function as a truly unique light painting. Each piece is handcrafted using various dichroic glass shapes mounted at precise angles on a metal or wood panel. A specific integrated light source strikes the glass shapes to produce a combination of highly saturated colors. The light paintings can be customized to any shape, practically any size, and in any color combination. They can be configured to produce in excess of 5,000 lumens and may be placed on a table, a pedestal, in a niche, or hang on the wall. Come to the gallery at the theater and talk to Mark about placing a piece of his art in your home.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Pretty good stuff.
Pretty good stuff.
I tell you, I like it when Mike comes. He gives you the sense of it's going to be okay.
He's like a guy, Scott. You think about, yeah.
And he's been through a lot. And, you know, running a business is not easy, no matter where you are. And people are writing in that it's not easy. And you're doing the best you can with what you got. And, you know, he has no fear. And that's the one thing that I picked up when he was here on the 17th. No fear and keep going. And you'll figure it out as you go along.
You got to keep going. We've got Jacqueline Coleman here. You may as well hang out because your car's not ready, right? Yeah. So you may as well hang out with us.
We got more beer. Do you
Mike
like
left
the
his
beer?
growlers.
I like it. I don't know that I could drink it all day, but I like it. I could drink wine all day. So
I wanted to ask you about that. So you like red wines at night, whites during the day, and then rosé in between?
I don't like to restrict myself.
She likes choice.
No, you should never restrict. I think you should drink more wine.
I don't say red wine at night. Usually that's the case, but usually it's rosé all day for sure.
Really?
Rosé all day.
Rosé
I mean, not like
all
every
day.
day. I'm not drinking rosé all day every day, but
Rosé all day. That's like the name of your show, Rosé all day.
Maybe it will.
How do you like that?
And is there a correct way of drinking wine?
Again, yeah, technically yes. I mean, but you do you. You know, whatever wine is a pleasure, right? It's to be enjoyed. So if you want to drink it with a stem or stemless, you drink it the way that you want to. But yes, technically there is a textbook way of drinking.
So if I wanted to drink it in a crazy straw, it's okay.
You can absolutely do that. Sure.
That's the way I used to drink beer, by the way. It's with a straw.
I would not judge you for drinking wine from a crazy straw.
She doesn't judge. She
We've
laughs.
got virtual guests coming in.
Yes.
Let's bring over Flynn's Arcade. We're gonna bring. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful. And
It
yourself?
must be like Crazy Beard Day.
Yeah, I saw that in the other video, or the other gentleman. I was like, oh, I love his beard.
Do you know Mike from Crazy Uncle Mike's?
I do not know Mike from Crazy Uncle Mike's, but now I just went onto their social media and tagged them and followed them and, beginning to track what they're doing.
You'll have a lot of fun. You're where, in Coral Springs?
No, we're in Margate, Florida.
That's kind of close. Our crew
Yeah,
loves
it's just,
your place.
Thank you.
This is the place that Vinny talks about all the time.
All the time.
And then Val interviewed him yesterday, and we actually replayed your show last night on the radio on WWNN.
Awesome.
And it was a great show. Tell us about Flynn's Arcade.
So Flynn's Arcade is an arcade in Margate, Florida, and it's established and built and constructed by my friend and I, Will. And we started back in December 2019, grand opening on December 7th. And we started construction in June of 2019. Before that, we started doing like pop-up arcade and video game events, and we do everything from tournaments to, as you can see behind me, the stand-up cabinets and new consoles like PlayStation and the Switch. And we also do like other nerdy things like Gundam models, which are like model kits you build, and then like tabletop gaming with like cards and all kinds of interesting things.
Other nerdy things. That's why our crew
Yes.
love it.
It's like a throwback.
Hector would like this place too.
Yes.
Hector would never leave this place.
Hector, this is another place you would like. Why an arcade though? It's so throwback.
Why an arcade? Well, arcade, like it starts back when I was like I said in the previous interview, like when I was 8, 9 or so, going to the laundromat with my mom on Sundays and just spending time with Galaga and Mortal Kombat 1. And my dad really raised me on Galaga, and we would compete back and forth. And then when we began doing these pop-up events, these retrocades as we called them, we were drawing between 150 to 300 people each time. And I talked to my friend when we were demoing one of my houses before it was sold, and we were like, I think it's the time to do this. And this was back in December 2018. And then one thing took the other, and we said, it's all about putting happiness and joy back into the world. And so we just kind of took it in that direction. And being a student of business, I was like, you know what? The barrier of entry is kind of high. It's a little different. It's more niche. There aren't a lot of them. And so, what the heck? And I'm a big believer, like what Mike had said previously when I was watching, you just got to live life and you got to take risks. You got to be willing to put it out there.
I think that must be the message of the day.
Well, your timing for an arcade couldn't come at a better time because people are looking to do things. Okay, our guest here,
Yep.
She needs to get out. People want to go out and do things, and doing something that's fun is even more better to do, right? Because, you've been cooped up, you've been sort of turtled in your house, and you're looking around, and arcades are a nice change of pace. Like Crazy Uncle Mike's change of pace. A lot of fun things to do without being absorbed around with 100 people and things of that nature. I remember when I went to the beach, I used to wear the white mask from the lady from the vacuum cleaner. What was that?
The HEPA mask.
A HEPA mask into the ocean. And I wouldn't come out of the ocean. And my daughter would bring my drinks to the ocean. I wasn't leaving. I wasn't going on that sand. I is not doing that. Remember, I tell you these stories. And they gave me a straw, and I would drink. That's why I say the wines and the drinks with a straw and everything else. Again, looking to have a little bit of fun.
Yep.
And sort of changing it up, because it's really been a tough 2020, I tell you.
Now, were you able to stay open during all of this?
Well, we obviously abided by all the rules and regulations, but I'm kind of right there with Mike. When the green light was there, we closed, what was it, March 18th? And then we were able to reopen May 18th, obviously with restriction in place. You know, Flynn's, as we grow, you know, each and every day we kind of see different people and different quantities. And so we just hit the ground running. But like Mike, I just kept things, or we kept things going. You know, we're all about community here, the Flynn's family, as we call them. I did live streaming and online tournaments, and we did raffles and giveaways. And our Flynn's family donated over $4,000, about right around $4,000 to us just to keep us going during that time. So that's a testament. You know, a Rolling Stone gathers no moss. And having been a student of military history, I knew, hey, when your competition isn't doing anything, you hit the ground running, you know, like you do everything. Because when it comes around, you see you reap what you sow. And that's what we're seeing now. And once again, like you had stated, it's about escapism and giving people an opportunity, an affordable opportunity to come out, forget about the worries of life, and just enjoy yourself and go backwards in time, if you will.
I think that's why Vinny loves it so much.
And Vinny is that person.
Yeah.
You know Vinny?
Yes, I know Vinny. He had his camera at our last cosplay event.
He's board right now. He's actually
What's
running
up?
all of everything. He's running the
What's up,
production.
Vinny?
Now,
Vinny did some sick shots.
One of the things that we were talking about, I was talking to Gio, I've been talking to Hector, is that we're going to come out with a game board for the cafe.
Okay.
And my son wants to do it digitally first, and then we're going to take that and we're going to create the board and go in that direction. And I love to have Flynn on the board, because we're going to have Crazy Uncle Mike, and these are going to be pieces on the board. You have to go there, sort of do certain questions and things, and you move on. And then at the end of the game, you win. But being that he's south of us, maybe we make him the last piece on the board that you have to sort of figure out something that goes on in there. So we're going to incorporate your highlights, and that will be the piece on the digital board, and then on the physical board when we get it out there. But I forgot to tell you that they started working on it on Monday.
That's awesome.
And we want to do this to give people an opportunity, not only to know who you are, not only to know what you send out, but at the same time, to have a little fun with this thing.
Do you have food? Do you have a bar? Or you're strictly an arcade?
Well, we are predominantly focused on the arcade video game nerd community, but we do sell snacks and drinks and like Japanese stuff as well, like Japanese sodas, Japanese snacks like Pocky or Ramoon. And then we also do noodles from Japan. I didn't think that people were going to buy them, but it has taken off quite well. And then we just recently acquired our beer and wine license. So we do have a bar we call it the Pink Elephant. It's kind of a nerdy thing, but and we do have a bar kind of side to it, but it's just solely beer and wine, not a full liquor bar. So that's for our 21 plus group, you know?
That's hilarious.
Nerdy Pink Elephant.
But you know what? I think everyone likes to get in touch with their inner nerd, because our crew, the demographic, they love arcades. Dylan, you like arcades?
Yeah.
They love arcades.
So that
We did that as well.
Yeah. But it's interesting because, okay, so let me ask our wine expert over here. In an arcade, what kind of wine should be, what kind of beverage should be enjoyed as you're getting involved in these games?
Well, I think it needs to be something non-complicated, right? So maybe some light white wine. Again, I'm going to go back to rosé. Yeah, I wouldn't be drinking Cabernet while playing poker, but
Really?
maybe something a little more fun.
Yes.
Fun and fruity.
See,
Yeah.
I would be in the heavy stuff.
Yeah, but you're always in the heavy stuff.
Well, I get to concentrate on the arcade beat.
But you
I'm
would be
always
very
in
happy
pain.
with the
Absolutely. Mike's brews.
Yes.
Champagne pairs with everything.
Yes.
Champagne?
Champagne in there.
I'm down.
Women with an expensive palate, I see.
And I know you're very involved in the business community in Margate, and I know you've given Val some great contacts.
Yes. I try to stay as well connected as possible. And to me, with small business owners or business owners in general, we have to kind of like come together. we're not an island. We're not on separate islands. We have to work together. And I believe also you can give out all the information in the world, but 80% of the people are going to do absolutely nothing with it. So the 20% people that do, hey, God bless them, and that's good for them. So we just try to help cross promote every Saturday on my Instagram and social media. You know, I try to push other businesses, and I'll even push similar businesses to us, because once again, there is enough cake to go around for everybody.
And it's funny, people that I know down your way are asking me, give us the address and the times of operation.
Okay, awesome. So our address is 5869 Margate Boulevard, and that's in Margate, Florida, 33063. They can also Google Flynn's Arcade and more in Margate, and it'll pop up on Google Maps. And we're right off of Margate Boulevard and 441, just a little bit north of Atlantic Boulevard and just a little south of Copans. And our hours of operation, we're closed on Mondays, so we can repair machines, do work we need to do. And then we're open Tuesday through Sunday. During the week, Tuesday through Thursday, we're open from 5 to midnight. On Friday, we're open from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m., Saturday, 1 p.m. to 2 a.m., and Sunday, 12 to 12. And then we do events scattered throughout the month, and then, you know, we kind of make them fit our hours of operation.
I love it. It could be a lot of fun.
And what kind of business did you do before Flynn's?
Well, currently, so I was a teacher for 6 years. I have a master's degree in military history from a military school in Vermont. I taught for 6 years, and then I left that and I opened a real estate brokerage, and I'm still an active real estate realtor. And my friend and I started, and we do that as well. And then I have a digital media company called AccuTour, where we do like photography and drone and video production, 3D virtual tour and augmented reality for real estate and the yacht industry and commercial real estate. And then also I run some Airbnb properties out of, you know, that my wife and I have. So that's what we do.
You get a lot
productive. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Freddie's dream is to have a drone.
Oh, they're beautiful. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah. I've been asking for a drone now for 5 years. I'll get it eventually.
His dream is to have a drone. Well, thank you so much. We would love to do more with you and kind of share the word, because our crew loves what you're doing, and they're at the Pulse. They call us, they said they're like the freaks and geeks, our crew.
Yes.
And the misfits. But you know what? That's kind of what we do. So we welcome all.
Awesome.
Eddie, thank you so much.
Well, come on down anytime.
See you later this week.
Oh, my pleasure.
Excellent. And it's good because he's helping businesses and everything, everybody together. Thank you very much for coming. He's helping businesses and everything else get together. You know, it's one big happy family. And like he says, there's plenty of cake for everybody. And he's come out of left field because he was a history teacher.
I wonder how, I guess Val maybe met him through Vinny. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, who knows? In this place, you don't know what's going on.
But you know what? They love it so much. And Vinny comes all the way down from Boynton. He's running our board, actually.
I know. Doing a good job.
All right, let's go to commercial break. When we come back, more with our Tuesday. We can do Tasty Tuesday and finish drinking if you want.
We're going to have the rest of that beer.
All right, stay tuned. Oh, we should pair it with an Oreo.
No Oreo for me. But
and we'll be right back.
Sexy, seductive, and beautiful. Looking for a professional and talented photographer? Danielle Boujon specializes in capturing flirtatious and tasteful images for yourself or your partner. Located in South Florida, Danielle really knows how to bring out your inner beauty on a shoot. Visit her website at www.daniellebuljan.com or call her at 561-305-2241 to capture your most desirable moments.
Spotlight your business, ideas, and events through our Brooklyn Cafe TV channel on Apple TV. Contact us at 888-224-5422 for more information. Let the whole town, even the whole country, know your message with a click of a button.
TV and WNN Money Talk Radio have been in conjoint business for 10 years. They have been working around the clock, non-stop, to promote over 500 shows and businesses reaching all over South Florida. With added platforms such as social media live streaming, podcasts, and the specialty of live radio, it has never been easier to get your voice heard by millions of listeners. To amplify your impact and start your show today, contact AMP2TV at 866-224-5422. That's 866-224-5422. AMP Media Productions and WNN Money Talk Radio have been in conjoint business for 10 years. They've been working around the clock nonstop to promote over 500 shows and businesses reaching all over South Florida. With added platforms such as social media live streaming, podcasts, and the specialty of live radio, it's never been easier to get your voice heard by millions of listeners. To amplify your impact and start your show today, contact AMP Media Productions at 866-224-5422. That's 866-224-5422.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
But he's part of that restaurant.
Is he?
Uh-huh.
I'm impressed.
His hearing is about as good as his eyesight, so we're all good to go.
I am doing 15 things at one time. You have no idea what's going on my phone.
Is that what's going on in your phone?
Yes. Things are blowing up all around us.
But you know, it's a beautiful thing, and I think the message of the day is you got to hit the ground running, and you just got to believe and keep going. You
That's
just
right.
can't, what did he say, a rolling stone does not gather moss?
That was a famous saying.
That's what he said.
That's
You
what
just
gotta
got to go.
You got to hit that little pinball to keep going. Life is like a giant pinball on steroids.
Sometimes that's how I feel. It's like a box of
Do you
chocolates.
hear the voice? There are voices in the walls here.
Like a box of chocolates. But Dylan, nice job introducing us to Jacqueline.
Oh, you're Dylan.
That's Dylan.
Oh, hello. Yes. So, did we talk about Jacqueline's? She's a fourth generation athlete. What is that? So,
well, fourth generation Miami, and
My-
I wish I was an athlete.
so
no,
what did
I
you,
like to drink.
So wait. So what exactly did you do?
Well, so my great grandfather founded the University of Miami Athletic Department. So close. And then my grandfather was the first mascot for the University of Miami football team in 1926. And then he was also president of the Orange Bowl committee. My mom was actually, I forgot to mention this, sorry, Mom. She was one of the first women on the Orange Bowl committee in the 80s, right before. So she was pregnant with me when she was on the committee, which was like a big deal, you know, going to these like very, you know, hoity-toity boardroom meetings and this woman, you know, like waddling in. But then when I was born, there was actually a little article written about me, and they called me the Little Squeeze. So
The little what?
The Little Squeeze.
Like the orange squeeze?
Like orange juice,
Okay.
orange. Well, so there are actually still some of the older members on the committee that call me the Little Squeeze.
Nice.
However many years later, I won't say that changes on Sunday. But so yes, there's a legacy there with athletics in South Florida, and I unfortunately did not continue the legacy with athletics, but I did go to the University of Miami. So.
You know what I heard? That University of Miami, this is an amazing thing that no one's even talking about. For every off-campus student, they are now getting tested. Tests are sent to their home, and they're getting tested. Covered by the university. They send you the test, you do your self-swab, you FedEx it back. I think it's pretty tremendous.
It is. And on Thursday nights, we have the 2-minute warning, which is Benny Blaze, who's a graduate from there. And, you know, he's trying to bring the Rock Johnson, who's a graduate from there. Every time I turn around, I think the whole world went to the University of Miami.
Pretty
Everybody.
much,
At least the good
Except-
people, the cool people.
Oh,
I just said it on me.
I
Yeah, but
say
you were
that
thinking
my boyfriend went to FSU, so we're very much house divided.
Oh, so this
Oh
weekend
my
was
God,
tough
he
for
must have
you.
been crying
It was
Saturday.
really tough, but fortunately, the past 3 years that we've been together, Miami has won, and that is good for our relationship. But he is like a hardcore, diehard FSU fan, so it is not a pleasant place to be on that football Saturday.
Wow, that was
That's
a tough
fun.
Saturday then.
Ranked number 8 in the country.
Yeah.
Now, again, because the schools are starting out late and everything else, I'm not going to say anything. The Marlins are in the playoffs. I can't say nothing. The Heat are playing the Lakers in the championship. I can't say nothing.
The Lightning won the Stanley Cup.
Take it easy. I'm getting there. Yes, the Lightning won. I mean, Florida seems to be the stomping ground again. You see, I got to deal with that guy. Again, Florida seems to be the stomping ground of champions again, just like Boston was for the longest. So that's amazing. The stadium you're talking about, take it easy. The stadium you're talking about had tremendous records in the day. It was the place to be. It was the party to be. Dawn used to hang out. There are stories about that stadium.
$10 na Blackie.
About the Orange Bowl Stadium?
We had, I don't think we have it here. We had some memorabilia that had the original
sold.
one of the chairs, one of the seats.
Well, you know, we had 50-yard line seats on the home side, right on the first railing for my whole life. I mean, my grandparents had these seats. They were prime time seats. And so I grew up, of course, going to the Miami games. And I think that's probably why I went to the University of Miami, because I couldn't imagine cheering for another football team, honestly. That was probably 75% of the reason I went there.
Well, Dawn went there, and for some reason, she was on the sidelines. I don't know why. She used to take...
Just one game or...
No, for 4 years.
No. He makes a lot of the stuff
4
up.
years. No,
But
I
the
don't make it up.
campus-
You don't talk about it.
But the campus has changed tremendously.
See, she changes the whole subject.
It's
matter.
amazing now. They're the housing is
housing.
amazing, and the campus is just beautiful.
Well, the new Rat. Do you remember the old Rat?
I remember the old Rat.
The old Rat was so fun.
We were there in May. Everything was closed for graduation, but we did walk through campus, and it's just
But you said they're going to
amazing.
walk now in November?
In December is law school graduation. I don't know where they're having it because there's 1,000 students, so I'm not quite sure where they're going to put 1,000 people
One at a
in family.
time.
I mean,
What do you
I
say?
wouldn't want to be a college student right now, honestly.
This was law
It's-
school, so I really don't know where they're going to put them.
Or anybody. And, you know, because college is about socializing and having fun, and unfortunately these guys are
Right.
kind of on lockdown, so.
Right. It's a different experience. I remember I went to Georgia Universities when she graduated, which was different than Freddie's graduation. Different because these stadiums are massive. I mean, you need an airplane ride to get to the top of this thing. Thank God they put me at the bottom, and I get to see the stadium and what it holds 110,000 people. This is craziness.
But things are totally changing, and we were not to change the subject, but I'm going to. As a writer, we were talking about growing content in social media, and right now
Right.
that's what everybody's looking to do.
Yeah, I mean, because people are online more nowadays, you know, they're not out socializing and doing things that they used to do more often. So I think, you know, social media marketing has always been absolutely important. Now it's even more so, I feel like, because people have moved to online models for their business a lot of the time. So
True that.
And it's constant. We were talking this morning, I said to Jacqueline, this is not an easy thing. She said it's really a full-time job.
It is a full-time job, and I used to work in a social media marketing agency, and you know, there was 3 of us working full-time on different clients, but you know that it really is, to get the most out of your social media, you need to hire someone who's an expert in it. That's just bottom line.
And I wanted to ask, when you write your wine pieces, how do people find what you write? How is it located? Where is it located?
Google me. No, I'm kidding. So locally in Miami, I write the Biscayne Times Vino column. So Biscayne Times newspaper is, I think it's the 3rd largest in Miami, obviously after the Herald and Miami New Times, but covers the Biscayne corridor from downtown through Aventura. And so I do the Vino column. It's a monthly publication. Pick up your copy if you're in the area. Really great investigative pieces too. The newspaper is awesome. Proud to write for them. And then winetraveler.com is the other website that you can find a lot of my articles. And my blog, History and Wine, so historyandwine.com. Is where I kind of repost. I use it more as kind of an online portfolio. So as I'm writing for these other publications, I'll link to them from my blog. So if you're just looking for anything I've written in the past 8 years or so, it's linked on my blog.
And do you go to different restaurants and taste pairings?
I do. Well, yeah, and other times, yes. A big part of what I was doing prior to March was a lot of wine dinners and lunches and meeting with winemakers who would come in town and doing tastings and pairings and that sort of thing.
That's interesting because I went to a couple of restaurants and I saw that was going on.
We were thinking of doing wine pairings with Oreos.
Okay.
No,
Well,
I-
the trick with sweet stuff though is you have to go with a sweet wine, because if you do something like say a Cabernet with an Oreo, it's gonna the sweetness, the sugar in the Oreo is gonna make the Cabernet taste more astringent and kind of
So
you're gonna
it's really
lose
a thing.
the fruit, huh?
Is it still red wine with meat, white wine with fish, or rosé
There
in
are
between?
always exceptions. The most important thing is to match the weight of the wine with the weight of the food. You know, a heavier wine with a heavier dish, a lighter wine with a lighter dish, because, you know, and then there's all sorts of rules within there. You can compare and contrast. You know, you can have the same flavors together, like sweet and sweet, or you can do spicy and sweet. And there's, you know, what grows together goes together, which is a big rule for Albarino from Spain and the northern part in Rías Baixas. It's, you know, near the ocean, so Albarino is seafood. So there's all sorts of rules to follow when pairing food and wine, but you know, at the end of the day, it's what you like.
What about pork? I know that steaks come in different sizes and
Yeah.
okay, but pork, the other white meats.
The other white meat.
What do you do with that?
Well, actually, we had a pork tenderloin last night with a wine from Priorat from Spain, which is actually a heavier Garnacha-based wine. So that paired well because we had some heavier spices on the pork, so the spice
But
was
is that a
pairing with
red
the spice.
thing or a white thing or a rosé thing?
Priorat, it was a red wine.
It is a
It was
red wine, okay.
Yeah, it's a heavy red wine actually. It
is.
It's a very, you know, kind of tannic and full-bodied. But, you know, pork, you could do a Pinot Noir too if you're just doing like a pork chop and not putting, you know, a lot of spices. Again, the flavoring has to kind of match the heaviness, right? So we had heavy kind of peppery spice on the pork, so that went well with the heavier wine and the spice and the wine and that sort of thing. Whereas if we were just doing plain pork chop, we'd probably do a Pinot Noir, maybe a Grenache, which is also another lighter red wine.
And you have to finish that bottle that night with your meal.
It depends. I mean, usually we do. Usually we do. But it depends. You know, the heavier the wine, usually with the red wines, you can have it the next day or 2 days later. With like a Barolo, there's this whole thing with second day Barolo. It's actually better the second day after it's had some oxygen exposure and the wine is softened out a little bit. So
How did you get involved doing wine in between everything else, right? You think of
But
all
wait a
different
minute.
things.
I got another question.
Second day wine.
so many
Red
questions.
wine, when you open it, do you have to refrigerate it or you leave it out?
I leave it out if I'm going to drink it the next day, but you can if you the thing with wine is the oxygen exposure. So that's what's going to turn it to vinegar eventually. So if you put it in your refrigerator, you're saving yourself a little bit more time because it's an anaerobic atmosphere.
Yeah.
So it can be safer in the fridge. Wine doesn't last very long in my house, so I'm not worried about it.
So wine wants to turn into brandy. Is that the way that it works?
I mean, there's a whole different process for that sort of thing.
Yeah, because that's what they were teaching us. So you had to drink it, and there were different stages when you drink it. But I'm fascinated by it. Okay, so I'm going to ask you the question because people are
Okay.
asking me,
Okay.
and then you can do that whole thing you want to do. But what is the numero uno best wine on your list? And you're only allowed one.
Oh man.
Yes.
Okay. Well, can I do a region at least? Like, because I want to give a shout out to, yes, if I could only drink from one region.
Okay.
How about that? Because that's way easier than one bottle because there's so many great bottles out there.
Okay, one region.
Virginia.
Really?
Virginia.
Virginia.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Virginia makes some great wines.
Wow.
And they are, in my opinion, kind of midway between the New World and the Old World. So you don't get as much fruit as you do in California. You don't get those Cabernet fruit bombs. It's very difficult to grow Cabernet in Virginia. But you do get kind of really elegant, complex French varieties of grapes that maybe you don't see as much in the New World. You get some Cabernet Francs, some Chenin Blanc. And there's also a lot of hybrid grapes being used in Virginia. There's a lot of experimental wine growers or winemakers. And so there's just a lot of cool stuff happening there. And honestly, if you said you have to pick one region and you can only drink that wine for the rest of your life, I would absolutely pick Virginia.
Did you have any idea?
I'm shocked. And to ask Dawn's question, why the hell did you get into this?
Virginia.
Because of Virginia.
Because of Virginia. And maybe that's why I choose it because in the world of wine, Virginia was my first love. But I was living in Arlington, Virginia, outside of Washington, D.C. for several years, and started exploring the wineries, and this was about 10 years ago, and discovered Virginia wine country, and started my blog, and it really spiraled from there. I came back to Miami in 2013, and I took a wine education course, and I passed the exam, which was very difficult. And so from then I decided that this was more than just a hobby, and it could be, a career.
You got to do what you love.
That's amazing.
Do what you love, and that's so important.
Not only that, but you've been doing that how long now?
About 10 years. About
So
10 years.
it's not even a hobby, it's part of your life now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, from the moment that I started the blog, I knew it was going to be part of my life. But did I, at that, 10 years ago, did I ever expect to call myself a wine writer or, do tastings? Or no, that was never. I was working in a government affairs office. I was going to be a lobbyist. So that was never the original goal. However, as we all have this thing in wine, when you're in the industry and you just start learning about wine, you can't stop. So it's kind of addicting, and not in a bad way. I'm not talking about addiction, but learning about wine and being around people in wine. I've met some of the coolest, most interesting people ever that are winemakers and in the industry. And at the end of the day, our job is to help people have fun and to talk about something that, like I said, is a pleasure product. So it really, and at this time and this year in this pandemic, it's been a blessing to be a part of this industry for sure.
Amazing.
Everyone's having fun. All right, let's go to commercial break. Everyone, we got to give them some energy. I need Slick to get up and dance around, and Dylan, you guys are way too quiet, or we got to start drinking.
Well, it's fascinating because there's a history here, deep history. It's coming forward, but when we come back, we're going to ask you another question because we want to know where you're going to be in the next 5 years. What is it that's on your plate? So we're going to give you a chance to think about that.
Stay tuned, have some fun, and we will be right back.
Healing Moments Wellness Boutique specializes in integrating scientific and ancient therapies to relieve physical, emotional, and psychological distress. Through the power of touch, coaching, and meditation, clients experience pain relief, relaxation, healing, and detoxification. Contact Healing Moments Wellness Boutique at 561-931-2187 and experience Boca Raton's Healing Haven. Enjoy the benefits of an individualized treatment plan to help find your feelings of peace, complete balance, and wellness. Call Healing Moments today, 561-931-2187, and be rejuvenated.
Hi friends, it's Green and Allie from Kids and Capes. Tune in Saturday mornings on the Brooklyn Cafe Kids Television Network at 10 o'clock. Where we share fun and ideas. And remember, peace, love, and kindness.
So let's spread your business like a wildfire. Spotlight your business, ideas, and events through our Brooklyn Cafe TV channel on Amazon Fire. Contact us at 888-224-5422 for more information. Let the whole town, even the whole country, know your message with a click of a button. Together, we ignite.
Mark Dane's paintings are custom designed specifically for your space. Each design will not only illuminate your space, but will also function as a truly unique light painting. Each piece is handcrafted using various dichroic glass shapes mounted at precise angles on a metal or wood panel. A specific integrated light source strikes the glass shapes to produce a combination of highly saturated colors. The light paintings can be customized to any shape, practically any size, and in any color combination. They can be configured to produce in excess of 5,000 lumens and may be placed on a table, a pedestal, in a niche, or hang on the wall. Come to the gallery at the theater and talk to Mark about placing a piece of his art in your home.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show, Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
That's an interesting question. How to impress?
How to impress a date, first date? No Malbecs.
Yeah, no Bombax.
Really? Why is that?
Turn your teeth purple. They got a lot of color pigmentation, so you'll get that real deep purple lip and teeth.
But that's kind of cool, purple lips.
Yeah, no, it's totally. Once you've been dating for a while, who cares, right?
No, I'm talking about first date.
Yeah, first date, no, you don't want purple teeth.
No Malbec. Interesting.
No purple teeth.
Or suck it up in a straw.
Is there a wine of choice for first date? Like, what would impress?
I mean, I guess it depends. Champagne always impresses me, so, but like he was saying, if you're doing steak or something, like a good solid Cabernet is a good safe choice.
Slick, are you into different wines?
I'm not a big wine drinker.
Boone's Farms don't count.
No.
I'm a big rum drinker.
That is true. You are a big rum drinker.
You're just a big drinker. What about ordering champagne and then having a wine with the meal? Is that doable? Or do you just stick with the champagne?
Sure.
That's doable.
Well, both. I mean, you can champagne pairs with a lot of different things because it's got very high acid, so it's a really good food pairing wine. So absolutely. I mean, if you wanted to drink champagne through the whole meal, and I've had champagne dinners before, and they're fabulous. But you can always switch it up depending on what you're eating, for sure.
And on Sundays, I go to my favorite place. I have unlimited mimosa.
Did you do that yesterday?
You get some mimosas?
Mimosas.
Ooh.
Little orange.
I've asked him to stop doing that because he comes in Monday with a little hangover.
So a hangover. Well, that's not great champagne, I guess.
No, it's probably cheap Prosecco, to be honest with you.
Right, it is, right?
What is
Prosecco
the difference
is not
between
champagne?
Prosecco
It
and
is not.
champagne?
Prosecco is made in Italy, and champagne is made in France. And they're different methods. So champagne is made in a double fermentation, where the second is in the bottle. The Prosecco is basically made in big tanks.
I'm going to have to ask now because I go to a place. I'm going to say, is this Prosecco or is this champagne?
You can absolutely
and I want to
ask
see the
because-
freaking bottle.
Yeah, there's.
Because I'm going to tell you, the ringing in the ears, not so good on Mondays.
It's not a good thing when you do that.
And it's unlimited, so you pay a price and...
It's important to know champagne is only made in Champagne, France. Because there's a lot of imitations out there, and that's fine. They're all sparkling wine. But a true champagne only comes from the Champagne region of France.
Important.
Lots of things you need to know.
If
from
you
the
remember
Brooklyn
anything
Cafe.
from the show.
Well, it's important because also when you are, dating is one thing, business meetings.
Business meetings, yeah.
You should know what the hell you're doing.
Well, I was actually hired for a job once, unrelated to the wine industry. I was hired to be a business development officer for an IT company. And the hiring manager told me that one of the reasons he wanted to hire me is because I could read a wine list. And when you're entertaining clients, especially at the level that they were looking for, you want someone at the table that can order something that's going to impress the people at the table. So, I mean, wine can get you in the door for other jobs too.
Yeah,
Just saying.
and it is a sense of, when you can do that, a sense of you're dealing with somebody of intelligence. When I covered Obama's inaugural up in North Carolina, we went to the dinners at night. There was always somebody at the table, and we used to go, okay, give them the wine list. And they knew everything about the wines and the years, which are important as well.
Yeah,
Right?
well, that's a whole different level. I mean, when you can start pulling out what you know about vintages around the world, I mean, that's something to aspire to, but it takes a lot of work.
That's what Harry does. Harry will tell you the years. His brother opened a bottle of wine in California, and he calls him and says, how long do I let it breathe? He says, I'll call you back. And I guess he did his homework. He says, okay, now. And I was just amazed because I would open it and drink it, but they said you had to let it breathe.
Slick, maybe you want to look into doing that. It could be kind of fun.
I'm definitely gonna look into doing that because
Very
I am not like I would like to be the guy to be like, yeah, she would be having it's a nice wine.
Well, you need to make sure she likes wine. though,
True.
first.
I didn't answer that question though, but I wouldn't mind learning more about wine because I'm not aficionado in that. I know with alcohol it's always rum with me, so, and it's mixes and it's beer. It's just college, it just get
I didn't drink wine in college. I didn't.
It's funny, I drank Boone's wine. in
What
high
was on?
school. And then I graduated to college. And you know, to me, wine is wine until I met Harry, and he gave me the education of the way wine is and the way it goes with foods. And it changed, it changed my whole looking at different things. But then the sugars in wine, with being a diabetic, that changed my life. I can't enjoy it.
Well,
as much.
a dry wine is going to have minimal amount of sugar in it. Obviously, sweeter wines are going to have more sugar. The Proseccos are going to have more sugar. Even champagne has more sugar unless it's brut nature or zero dosage. In that case, it has no sugar. But your average dry wine is going to be, very low in sugar, very minimal,
I didn't
because
know
the
that.
sugar's been fermented out to alcohol.
Really?
Which is why it's dry.
So the alcohol content is higher, is drier?
Well, there's a lot that goes into play there, but yes, I mean, the sugars convert to alcohol. So, that's why a dry wine is not sweet. It's dry.
And that's the problem, because I like them sweet. But
Yeah.
maybe before you leave, you give me a name of a dry wine. Maybe I should go to.
Well, your average Cabernet,
Cabernet.
now then you get into if it's mass produced and, if it's a Gallo wine, the chances of it having higher sugar content, because they put this thing called Mega Purple in it to boost the colors and the flavors, because the American palate does like a sweeter beverage, right? But, if you find a really good quality small producer, boutique winery, their dry wines are going to be best if you're watching your sugar.
And what is that point scale? I notice that people, when they buy wines, it has a point scale.
Yeah, so some people live and die by the points, and some people don't even care. So yeah, you'll have your James Suckling points, your Robert Parker points, and do they carry some validity? Yes, if your palate is similar to the expert who you're reading the scale. So a lot of people say maybe James Suckling is a little easier on wines than, say a Robert Parker. But really at the end of the day, it's more about understanding how that person is tasting the wines and if you agree with their scale, because their scale is going to be different than somebody else's scale.
So you should educate yourself as to whose scale you're using and then go from there.
There's a lot of reading involved in drinking
How
wine.
many scales are, how many people do this?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, there's scales all over the place. And even when we're judging wine competitions, we're scaling the wines, we're giving them a score, not necessarily because we're going to give them a score that's going to be put on the bottle, but we're trying to decide if the wine is worthy of a double gold, a gold, a silver, or a bronze medal. So, there's like a gold wine maybe from 90 to 100 points, right?
Okay.
So, and then going down from there. So the points really are used more as a measurement and not necessarily as a hard and fast, like this is a 92-point wine.
I got to cover a wine deal. There were 3 rooms that I had to cover with cameras. Freddie was with me. Linda was with me, Sarah was with me, Jill was with me. And we got to cover, and they sip it and they spit it out, and they sip it in this water or something, and they sip it and they say, all day, this is all they're doing.
Oh yeah.
And they came out, there must have been enough wines to fill this theater. And
Well,
they came out with one winner.
I judge a competition here in South Florida called the American Fine Wine Competition, and we usually have around 700 wines.
Yeah.
Wow.
That we judge in a matter of 2.5 days.
You taste them all?
No, luckily,
Can you imagine?
no, that would be really intense, but it is almost that intense because you're in tables of usually 4 judges, and there's panels of wines that are coming to you. So you don't taste all of the wines, but somebody there tastes all of the wines. And then as a group of judges, there's usually about 30 to 35 of us. We'll choose the best wine from the finalists.
And I got to sit there, and then they gave me some wine. It was a lot of fun.
How do people find you for all of the things that you do? Best way to follow you?
Yes, online on social media at History and Wine. So History A&D Wine is my social media handle for Instagram and Twitter. And that's the best way to find me. And I post especially on Twitter, I post all my articles and stuff.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Dylan,
Thanks.
nice job.
Good
job, Dylan.
Fantastic. Jacqueline Coleman, wow. It's all about the you is all I can tell
I
you.
hear what we're done. Well, this is the original you. This is
The
different.
The OG.
No, this is
the
different.
OB, I should
You
call
guys,
it.
you're always throwing that you at me. This is different. This you're
The
gonna have
OB.
to, you have to go like this, because they opened it up and they started that whole thing, and this family and the whole night. I get that, but if and again, this Thursday night, 2-minute warning, more you players are coming
Yep, Benny
forward.
Blades is on Thursday night, so that's coming up Thursday night at 7:30. Thank you to Crazy Uncle Mike's. Yes, they are open. It is safe. They've got bands. Congratulations on your 2-year anniversary, Mike. And we had Flynn's Arcade over in Margate, so that sounds like a whole lot of fun. Our crew goes there, and like he says, they're all a little bit nerdy. The geeks, the freaks, the nerds. But you know what? I think that's exactly what we do, and that's exactly what we all need.
That's right. A little bit of fun in your life. Don't say you won't have any place to go. Even if you go for 10, 15, 20 minutes, you can do something different. So enjoy yourself.
Have a little bit of fun. Have a great day, everyone. Tune in at 2:30 for The Reinvented Life with Pamela Chanel David, coming to you right out of the Aunt Meaty Studios. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time. Be kind to each other.
And as always, don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show is over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. Well, see you next time.
Sleepless nights, I wait for you to bring me back to life. In my electric eyes, it doesn't mean that time can thicken every single breath. I want to unfreeze my heart and fly away. That's why I wanna say and craters, open up my eyes, waterfalls of ice, sweeping me away like an avalanche, helpless as I fall, the words can't say it all, sweeping me away like an listen for a sound, waiting deep inside my maze of sweeping thrills and colors, just a ray of light bathing